Hey, what's happening, guys? chumq back again with another video, and I've recently picked up the one of the commander decks from C21, the Prismari Performance, in blue and red, or is it now they're calling it Prismari? This is one out of five. On the front, you've got the latest commander, Zephi Thunder Conductor. This one comes with two legendary foils, deck box, 100 cards with 17 new cards, 10 double-sided tokens, a life wheel, a strategy insert, and reference card, and a whole lot less plastic. All right, so let's open it up and just quickly have a look at the contents of this and see what we get inside. So opening it up, I mentioned in a previous unboxing that there's really a lot less plastic. You get this punch outs that you can use for tokens, no longer including the massive oversized card. Inside you will get the small deck box made out of cardboard, and you have your deck inside. So that's the life wheel. You've got your information of how to play commander, a little bit about the Prismari College, and this is the whole deck, and that's the only plastic that you use, I think. This one is not really useful. Looks like it's going to break right away. So yeah, we'll see how long this lasts with me. But let's have a look at the contents of the deck. Prismari Performance is what they're calling it. And let's see what new cards that this Commander Precon has. All right, so this is the latest commander. It's called Zephi Thunder Conductor. Let me just open this up a bit, get some light in here. There we go. So this is two generic red and blue for a 1/4 human shaman. It's got Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, scry 1. If that spell's mana value is 5 or greater, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. If that spell's mana value is 10 or greater, it deals 10 damage to an opponent chosen at random. You do get the oversized card that you can use in place of the regular one, which I really like, and I have been using this in my other C21 commander decks. But unfortunately, I probably will be using Veyran instead of Zephi, just because I like the ability a lot better here. This is a 2/2 Efreet Wizard, one generic blue-red legendary creature with Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, Veyran, Voice of Duality, gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And if you casting or copying an instant or sorcery spell causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So I'm going to make this probably the commander for this precon deck. Fun design, but it's not in the playstyle that I would choose. And these are some of the new cards. We've got Dazzling Sphinx. Okay. Inspiring Refrain. I like these ones. So 6 to cast sorcery, draw 2 cards, exile it with 3-time counters on it, or you can suspend it for 3, and it just keeps on going and going and going, provided that your opponents haven't counter-spelled or done anything with it. So it will still keep triggering off. So I really like these cards. Got Muse Vortex, Octavia Living Thesis, great flavor card, Octopus with 8 instances of 8 all around the card. Great design. Sly Instigator. So 3 generic, 1 blue, 2/4 human wizard that tap it, pay blue. Until your next turn, target creature you control can't be blocked, and you go that creature. Actually, this would be good in that Silver Quill Brina deck. I don't know why this is a blue card. This would be good in that other deck. Got Creative Technique, Sorcery, 5 to cast with Demonstrate, and you can shuffle your library and reveal cards from the top of it until you reveal a non-land card. Exile that card, put the rest at the bottom in any random order. You may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Okay. Got Fiery Encore, Inferno Project. So this will matter if you've got a lot of instants and sorceries, because the total mana value will give you X +1/+1 counters, and it's trample. So if you've got a lot in your yard, this will get really big. Got Radiant Performer, another new card. Riona the Fire Dancer. Okay, so this could be a commander because it's a legendary creature, but only in mono red. What it does is it's 5 to cast 3/4 human wizard at the beginning of combat. On your turn, create X tokens that are copies of another target creature you control, where X is 1 plus a number of instant or sorcery spells you've cast this turn. They gain haste and exile them at the beginning of your next end step. So if you build around that, it can be pretty crazy. Rousing Refrain. So just like the other Refrain card we saw a while ago, that just keeps getting cast with Suspend, provided that your opponents don't mess around with it by countering it or doing anything. We've got Surge to Victory. This is interesting. 6 casting cost, exile target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Creatures you control get +X+0 until end of turn, where X is the card's mana value. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player this turn, copy the exiled card and you may cast it without paying its mana cost. So if you've got a lot of little dudes, get them pumped up and then cast this card that you exiled as many times as it's connected for free. Now that is a great design for a card. We've got Reinterpret. Okay. Elementalist's Palette. Would probably be good in a deck that has a lot of X spells in it, like a Zaxara type of deck. If you're also using it for Zephyr, probably, but since we're going to be using Veyran, or I will be using Veyran, I'll probably slot this one out. Great art though. Okay, Aethergale. Okay, this one can be good, can be bad, depending on if you've got 6 target non-land permanents. Sometimes I find that I end up targeting some of my permanents just to get the target up of 6 before it's cast. So I probably take this one out also. Aether Spouts can surprise a big board of attacking creatures, get them to put that on top or bottom of their library. If they're tokens, goodbye forever. Dig Through Time, a good reprint. One of those delve spells. You can technically get it down to 2 blue if you have delved 6 cards, and then you can look at the top 7 cards of your library, put 2 of them in your hand, and the rest in the bottom. Diluvian Primordial, another good reprint. It's a 7-drop, 5/5 avatar, flying. Enters the battlefield for each opponent. You may cast up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from their graveyard without paying its mana cost. If it's played this way, instead of putting it in the graveyard, exile it. Another great card. Free spells, and you can get really good spells from the yards from other players, so I like this card. Metallurgic Summoning is a great enchantment, a good reprint. 5 to cast. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token where X is a mana value. So already with that, that's great, but it has another activated ability where you pay 3 generic blue, you exile it, and you return all instants and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Wow, that's a great card. Mind's Desire, great if you're going to be using it for Storm. Narumiha, Master Wizard, good for Wizard tribal themed decks. I don't know if there's a lot of wizards in this deck, but you know, it's been used as a commander for a lot of tribal wizard decks. Good reprint. Swarm Intelligence, great enchantment, 7-drop that lets you cast an instant or sorcery spell, or when you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it, and you may choose new targets. I've played with this a few times. So is my friend Sankey, who has as well, has this in his deck, and yeah, you can get really broken plays by copying instants and sorcery spells. This is whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, and this card is not actually expensive, so it's great to pick this up, and this reprint's probably even going to drive the price down a lot more. We've got Talron, Sky Summoner. Sure, why not? We're going to be casting a lot of instants or sorceries, and then we create a 2/2 Blue Drake token with flying. Apex of Power. Wow, 10 casting cost. Exile the top 7 cards of your library until end of turn. You may cast spells from among them, and then if this spell was cast from your hand, add 10 mana of any one color. So yeah, that can get crazy, especially if you can manipulate the top few cards of your library. Blasphemous Act, great reprint. Why not? It's good to see that they're reprinting cards like this. This was expensive a few sets ago, but then it's been coming out quite a lot, so it's good to see this again. Brass's Bounty, if you want to create a lot of tokens, sure. Charmbreaker Devils, yep, good reprint. Dual Caster Mage, another good reprint. Erratic Cyclops, great if you have, I guess, a lot of big mana value spells. But, you know, it's a 0-8, that's the floor. The ceiling could be really high, it could be a 10-8 if you cast a 10 mana spell. But it's probably something I'd take out. Itali, Primal Storm, yeah, a good 6-drop for 6. And, you know, you can cast spells without paying mana cost, so, yeah, great card. Jaya Ballard, okay, reprint Planeswalker. Sunbird's Invocation, cool. Volcanic Vision, alright. Wildfire Devils, Call the Skybreaker, an Epic Experiment. Okay, so we got a lot of spells here. Pyromancer's Goggles, a great reprint. I like this. It adds 1 red. It's 5, but it adds 1 red. But if you use it to cast a red or instant sorcery spell, you may choose new targets for that copy. So you copy it by adding that 1 red, which is great. Exotic Orchard, it's a good reprint. Great card, great land if you have, say, a 4 or 5 color deck, maybe 3. On 2, it may not even give you the colors that you need. So I'm wondering why they printed this here. But otherwise, a good card, the more colors you have in your deck. Scavenger Grounds, okay. Shivan Reef, a good Painland reprint. Temple of Epiphany, sure. Resculpt, okay. You get an artifact, exile artifact or creature. Controller gets a 4 for blue, red elemental creature token. Good thing is it's not flying, okay. Like this card, Stormclin Artist, 4-drop, 2/2. Yeah, it gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control. I'm not sure how many artifacts there are in this particular deck, but the Magecraft ability is where it shines. Where whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token. So if you have a lot of little 1 to 2 mana casting cost spells that you can keep casting, you can get a lot of treasure from this dude. New Strixhaven card, Elemental Masterpiece. Not something I'm too hot about. Expressive Iteration. Okay, it's an uncommon Strixhaven card. Rutha, one of the new uncommon legendary creatures from Strixhaven, where you can bounce it to copy a target instant or sorcery spell. It's an interesting card. Letter of Acceptance, Mana Rock, 3 casting cost Mana Rock or mana value. Gives you 1 color, mana of any color, and you can sack it to draw a card. The Campuses, great dual land cycle, common cycle from the Strixhaven set. Upside, I mean, it comes into play tap, but the upside is later on in the late game you pay 4, tap it to scry 1, and that's a great ability on a land like this. Study Hall, okay, so for scrying, okay. Brainstorm, love this card, great reprint. Living Lore, okay, not so hot about that. Ponder, great reprint. It's a great 1-drop. Look at the top 3 cards for library, put them back in any order, then you draw a card. Serum Visions, so yeah, this is what this deck really wants to be doing, especially if you're using Veyran. A lot of these cheap cantrips, 1 mana casting cost spells, so just keep getting value out of it efficiently and cheaply. Dramatic Visions, probably not the best counter spell. This is something I'd cut. 5 mana for a counter spell with basic land cycling, no thank you. Treasure Cruise, great card that'll let you draw 3 if you delve 7. This goes back, what, Tarkir block, great card. That huge casting cost would be great for Zephyr, but otherwise, yeah, it's an okay card. Faithless Looting, great card for red to draw with flashback. Fiery Fall, okay. Humble Defector, okay, good reprint. This was also reprinted in Commander Legends. Mana Geyser, great for producing lots of mana. I mean, you can come up with more than 10 mana sometimes, even 20, depending on how late in the game you are and how tapped out your opponents are. Then you can use that to just cast heaps of spells. Same with Seething Song, great ramp for red in the beginning. Crackling Drake, okay, it's an okay card. The Signet reprint, Arcane Signet. So Gavin Verhey mentioned that this was a mistake that they made this, but they won't be making any more kinds of cards like this. But good to see that they're still reprinting it for us to use. Hedron Archive, Is It Signet, Mind Stone, Soul Ring, Talisman of Creativity. So good mana rocks for this deck. Then we've got the lands. So Command Tower, Deserts. Nothing too crazy here. They're okay. And I think mostly that's it. And then we go to the tokens, which we have Drakes, Treasures, Elementals, Copies, Constructs, and more Elementals. So yeah, so that's a quick unboxing of the Prismari Performance Commander deck from C21. Zaphi Thunder Conductor, or Veyran Voice of Duality. I'll probably build a deck around Veyran, and I'll come up with another video to make some recommendations. Hope you enjoyed this quick unboxing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.